Banished from the hero's party, I decided to live a quiet life in the countryside. Volume 2 review. Last year, the Emperor started publishing Banished for the hero's party. I decided to live a quiet life in the countryside since the anime adaptation for the series has been announced. Now I'm back to take a look at Volume 2 and see how the story is progressing. In the remote town of Zoltan, Red runs is apothecary with his girlfriend Rit. This is a town where time passes by peacefully, at least most of the time. Since Rit's arrival, things have become a little more chaotic in Red's life, and that's certainly true in its installment of the series. A new drug called False Prophet has begun spreading in the town, which leads to people losing themselves and killing those around them. One such instance even leads the half-elf owl family almost being murdered. Red and Red aren't about to sit back and let the drug run rampant, so together they begin investigating the issue to find out who's behind it. Along the way, Red uses this as the perfect excuse to give Al some training on how best to make use of his blessings so he can protect himself and those around him. Elsewhere in this volume, reunite with Red's sister Ruti, the hero and her party, to continue with her adventures to defeat the Demon Lord. But unbeknownst to the majority of her group, Ruti is also looking for her brother. When the team find an abandoned airship, this gives the hero a perfect excuse to expand her search. Like the first book, the majority of our time is spent with Red, with the occasional switch to Ruti. Since this installment isn't having to introduce a bunch of characters and get the plot started, the switching back and forth flows more naturally. I found it much easier to keep track of who I was doing with this time, since I was more familiar with the cast, and it certainly works in the favor of the book. The other nice thing is the fact Red is caught up in an interesting storyline in Zoltan, compared to the first volume where things were a bit more episodic. Everything is nicely contained here, and others upon manages to wrap the false prophet arc up, or setting up for what is sure to be the bombastic volume 3 judging by the conclusion here. During the drug plot, Zapan also finds him time to offer some character development for Rit and Red. Rit knows that the hero wants to be reunited with her brother and become searching for Red, which she worries will bring an end to the peaceful lifestyle and potentially their romance. Instead of worrying about these things in secret, Rit opens up to Red about it, and he does his best to lay her fears to rest, which at a priori since so many other series will have left as an underlying drama waiting to explode. I also just prefer had these two be happy with one another because they deserve to live peacefully, no matter what kind of chaos they find themselves wrapped up in during the day leaves. As previously mentioned, banished from the hero's party and decided to live a quiet life in the countryside. Volume 2 comes to the West thanks to Rian Press and has been translated by Dale De Lucia. The translation reads well with no issues to note. Overall, Volume 2 of Banished from the Hero's Party proves an entertaining and more focused read than its initial volume, with plenty of character development and a cliffhanger that's sure to keep you reading. The series continues to be a worthwhile investment if you're a fan of the sci-fi fantasy genre. 8 over 10.